I want you to imagine this. One of the most trusted names in deli meats, Boar's Head. You see it at the deli counter, you pick it up at the supermarket. You pay a little more for it because that price tag comes with an implicit promise. A promise of quality, of tradition, and above all, of safety. It's sitting proudly inside your fridge, ready for your kids' school lunches, your quick work-from-home meal, your family picnic. The packaging is crisp, the logo is familiar, a symbol of uncompromising standards since 1905, and because of that century-long reputation, you assume it's safe. You trust it implicitly. But what if I told you that assumption of safety is a carefully constructed illusion? What if that trust could be costing you far more than just a few extra dollars at the checkout? Let's start at the top. For over a century, Boar's Head has meticulously cultivated its image. Founded in the New York City area, the company built its entire identity on being a cut above the rest. Their marketing doesn't just sell ham and turkey, it sells a story of heritage, craftsmanship, and family values. They even control their distribution with an iron fist, handpicking the retailers worthy of carrying their brand. This exclusivity reinforces the message: we are not like the others, we are better. Their branding is everywhere you look for quality, in gourmet sandwich shops, in the cleanest supermarkets, even in the commercials that paint a picture of idyllic family life. It's a masterclass in building consumer confidence. But behind that iconic logo, a very different story has been unfolding, hidden from public view. In early 2024, a series of internal USDA documents were leaked to a small group of food safety advocates and investigative journalists. These weren't routine reports. They were explosive, detailing a pattern of neglect and serious safety failures at multiple facilities that produce and package products for Boar's Head. The documents revealed repeated inspection failures, not just in one plant but across a network of suppliers. These weren't minor infractions like a missing hairnet or a smudged floor. We're talking about critical violations that create the perfect breeding ground for dangerous pathogens like Listeria and E. coli. According to these reports, inspectors repeatedly found evidence of systemic problems. First, grossly unsanitary equipment. One report described meat slicers caked with a thick, greasy film of old product residue. Another noted visible organic matter on conveyor belts that were supposed to be sanitized, a clear pathway for cross-contamination from one batch of meat to the next. Second, critical failures in temperature control. Deli meats must be kept below 40 degrees Fahrenheit to inhibit bacterial growth. The logs showed coolers and processing rooms consistently drifting into the danger zone for hours at a time, essentially incubating pathogens on the very products destined for your plate. And third, a shocking disregard for basic hygiene. In some cases, inspectors documented a total lack of hand washing by employees moving between handling raw meat and packaging ready-to-eat products. This is Food Safety 101, and they were failing the test again and again. You might be thinking, how is this possible? Aren't there strict regulations and government watchdogs to prevent this very thing? There are, but the system has cracks and big companies know exactly how to slip through them. The reality is USDA inspectors are often incredibly overextended, with a single inspector responsible for dozens of facilities across a huge geographic area. They can't be everywhere at once. This means companies can sometimes get cited for a violation, promise to fix it, and then revert to their old practices, gambling that they won't see another inspector for months. And when they are penalized, the fines are often so minuscule compared to their profits that they're treated as a minor cost of doing business, not a deterrent. And when violations are found, those details rarely reach the public eye in a way anyone can understand. They're buried deep within the USDA's databases, hidden behind technical jargon and documents called non-compliance records. You'd have to know where to look, and then hire a food scientist to translate what you found. They're hidden in plain sight, unless someone is brave enough to leak them. Now let's zoom in on the culture that allows this to happen. I spoke with 3 industry insiders, including a former quality assurance manager who worked for a Boar's Head supplier. They all described a system where speed and volume are king. Workers told stories of being pressured to skip or shorten critical cleaning protocols to meet hourly production quotas. A full sanitation cycle could take 30 minutes, one former line worker told us anonymously. That's 30 minutes the line isn't running. Management made it clear that was unacceptable. Supervisors, under their own pressure from above, would often look the other way. We showed the leaked reports to Dr. Anya Sharma, a food microbiologist. Her assessment was chilling. These conditions, the residue, the temperature abuse, are a textbook recipe for a Listeria outbreak. Listeria is particularly insidious because it can grow at refrigeration temperatures. So even after you bring the product home to your safe fridge, the danger can continue to multiply. The former quality assurance manager I spoke with put it even more bluntly. He said, "My job was to sign off on safety, but my real unstated job was to keep the product moving. If you knew how fast we had to work and the corners that were cut to do it, you wouldn't just avoid the deli counter, you'd question the entire system." But this isn't just about Boar's Head. Their story is a symptom of a much larger disease, a food system that consistently prioritizes profits over public health. The national headlines you see about listeria outbreaks and massive food recalls are just the tip of the iceberg. They represent the times the system failed so catastrophically that it couldn't be ignored. The CDC estimates that 48 million Americans get sick from foodborne diseases every year. The reality is, countless unsanitary practices go unreported and unpunished, until a cluster of illnesses forces a public reckoning. We asked shoppers if this information would change their buying habits. One woman told us, "I pay the premium for Boar's Head for my family. To think I was paying more for a risk I didn't even know about, it feels like a betrayal." That's why food safety advocacy matters so deeply. It's not about fear-mongering or trying to ruin a brand. It's about demanding a system that is worthy of our trust. So what's the solution? First, we need stronger whistleblower protections. The brave employees who risk their livelihoods to report these dangers should be celebrated and protected, not silenced. Second, we need truly transparent reporting. Imagine a simple, mandatory ABC grading system for food plants, displayed right at the deli counter. And third, we need real consequences. Fines that cripple, not inconvenience. And mandatory shutdowns for companies that repeatedly put customers at risk. And most of all, we need public awareness, because the more you know, the more power you have to protect yourself and your family. So the next time you reach for that familiar brand, whether it's Boar's Head or another, pause and consider. Where did this really come from? Who handled it along the way, and what is the company that made it doing to guarantee its safety beyond just marketing slogans? You have power in this equation. Ask your grocer about their supplier's safety records. Support local producers who are transparent about their practices. And don't be afraid to speak up and demand more from the brands that ask for your trust and your money. Every time you do, you push the entire industry one step closer to real accountability. If this story resonated with you, share it. Let others know what's happening behind the curtain. Subscribe for more investigations that hold power to account. And remember, your voice, your choices, and your awareness are the most powerful tools we have to build a food system that is safer for everyone. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and demand the safety you and your family deserve.